So keto diet was given basically for epileptic patients. The depression medicines which the doctors give just create another black hole in your life. If you are under stress, then your brain is under starvation. How can that person be dependent on fat metabolism? Stress can be corrected by giving good amount of energy to your brain. The problem is our body is resistant to glucose, or we are actually not taking correct glucose. People who are suffering from epilepsy, a ketogenic fatty diet, brain wants glucose for energy. If you don't have a proper gut, this is going to ruin your life. Most of the serotonin, most of the dopamine are under waste. Correct your metabolism, improve your cognition. Otherwise, you will end up in other stress-related diseases. Obesity is the problem of storing the calorie. It is not the problem with the sugar. It is the problem that your body cannot convert it to energy. That has to be corrected. Progesterone is not only for females. In very low dose, males also can take progesterone, especially if they have high stress. So what is this happening? The neurotransmitters which are produced from the brain has to be getting activated by the gut.
Today, we have a remarkable guest who has redefined health and wellness. Meet Dr. Sujith SR. He is an innovative leader in nutritional medicine, bioidentic hormone therapy, and anti-aging. With his 15 years of experience, he is transforming lives across India, Europe, and Middle East. Let's welcome Dr. Sujith SR. Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, you are an expert in nutritional medicine, and you are into this field for the past 15 years.
Yeah.
We have a lot of questions related to lifestyle disorders which people are facing today. So could you just explain us what are all the lifestyle disorders normally seen, and what are all the measures to be taken to address those issues?
Welcome anyway. Thank you, Smita. And I'm thankful to be invited here in Dubai. And it's so blessed to be here, especially with this radio. And it's a nice environment also, and very nice to see Dubai. But if you ask me about the lifestyle disorders, usually there are a lot of common lifestyle disorders, starting from diabetes, insulin resistance, cardiac disorders, metabolic disorders like hormonal issues, etc., obesity, etc. But if you ask me what the measures to be taken for as a common thing, there is not even a single magic bullet, Smita. Even we have not invented it till this moment. There is no magic bullet for lifestyle disorders. So that's the truth. But people are seeking for that magic bullet. People, whenever they meet a functional medicine expert or a nutritional medicine experts, they just come and see, can you just share me one medicine or one supplement or one food to alleviate almost all the lifestyle disorders. Unfortunately, it's not like that. Like any systems or any dimensions on life, if you want to reach to a particular stat, primary thing is a disciplinary approach and a consistent approach. But fortunately, one of the best thing from past around 50 to 60 years, the medicine has came forward is that, and this moment is that, though we are having a very much elevation of lifestyle disorders or the hike in lifestyle disorders than any past eras of our life, human life. If you look at currently, almost all diseases are in a peak. But fortunately, technology has been so updated that we have solutions for that also. Now almost every dimensions of the science is coming and merging in the field of medicine. For example, Smita, you may know that your daughter is also a genetic expert. Genetics is creating a new dimension in our life, and we can even look at any epigenetic analysis. That means what all switches we have in our life, what all switches of lifestyle is present in our or encoded in our gene, and what are the possibilities to switch on that gene. For example, if a person has a diabetic epigenetic gene expression, we can analyze it and see that whether this person has possibility to get the diabetes in what type of, what age extent, etc.
Sir, like as you said, there are latest technology in genetics and all. See how a person can decide, like he can go for this kind of test. Like, what is your suggestion on that? I mean, what is your advice on that? Like when people can opt for, because people are not aware about like these can be identified in prior through this all this test and all. So yeah,
it is very common actually. The medias, like especially these type of channels and medias, should give that type of dimensions in it. For example, why I came to Dubai is for a biohack summit. Biohack Summit 2024 is a very big summit on health aspect. It is not only the invitation is for the doctors or any nutritionists. Any persons can come and experience how to hack their health, how to address their health, how to in that, not only this epigenetic analysis, the latest technologies of artificial intelligence driven softwares to, especially for doctors and especially for a common man. There are some apps to guide you what is your health or how to have it. There are bio rings available. So these are the latest things which we have. Coming to the epigenetic analysis, epigenetics can be done by anybody anywhere in the world. You just want to take a saliva. Just take the saliva and send to us or send to any epigenetic analytic people and see what all the report will come out. So the difference between normal epigenetics and V-Roots Epigenetics, the company which or the hospital which I represent, is that V-Roots actually integrate artificial intelligence also with the epigenetics. So for example, if a person is identified as coronary artery disease chance, it's not that the person is identified, if a possibility is there for a heart disease, for a heart attack, so we can just ask to your report, because it is a two-way response also. Because what is the risk for me to get heart attack? So they will say these are the risks. For example, if they are having high starch diet, if they are taking low folic acid diet, if they are having B6 or B6 diet low. So what are measures to be taken to correct the genetics? So that also the report is giving. So it's a two-way thing, So that is what is the advanced.
So you meant to say that there are a lot of awareness should be should be given to the people, like these are all the technologies available here.
Absolutely. So that is why we are actually coming, even Dubai. In Dubai, why we submit the Biohack Summit is it's actually everyone can reach easily, especially from the east, especially from the west, especially from the other parts. They can come to Dubai and have the summit. This is the second international Biohack Summit, which we are doing continuously with a very good response. Around 3,000, we are expecting around 2,500 people to attend this one, and around more than 30 plus international speakers, including me, is coming to the summit and attending it. Taking the class on that.
So when we come back to the lifestyle disorders, the common disease which we known like diabetes, like people are how can we identify this, like what one person is a diabetic and what are all the measures to be taken for that diabetic treatment?
Unfortunately, the problem with the diabetes or the diabetic people who are treating the people or who are addressing this is that the patients are actually just cutting off the glucose or cutting the sugar and taking tea or anything, and they are saying that I am avoiding the sugar. Why can't my sugar or diabetic be under control? Unfortunately, the truth is that once we want our brain to do the optimal work, if you are a brain worker, I'm not talking about the laborers who are physically working, but still they are actually having their own brain activities also. sedentary lifestyle people who are usually the managers, who are working like that, teachers, who are both physically and mental workers. So these people should consume lot of glucose in their diet. Unfortunately, people are worried. They are worried about sugar, they are worried about glucose, they are worried about fruits. Then where do you get the energy from? Are you depending on protein for energy? Are you depending on chicken for energy? These are fats and protein rich diet. Once you depend on fat and protein for your energy, then your health is going to be in trouble. That's what I don't encourage any intermittent fastings or ketogenic diets, because intermittent fasting increases your cortisol.
I was about to ask that.
Yes, that's what people are actually promoting intermittent fasting. But how can a person who is intellectually working, repeating the statement, intellectually working, cognitively high, how can that person be dependent on fat metabolism? Fat, you are also in nutrition department, so Smita, you know better how we are generating electrons or ATP from fat. We want glucose metabolism, which is typically oxygen dependent glycolytic pathway. That means we have to have glucose. The problem is our body is resistant to glucose, or we are actually not taking correct glucose. We may depend glucose for donuts, we may depend glucose on laddus, we may depend glucose on payasam, cakes, rice, wheat. These are not actually the correct carbohydrates. They are actually starch. They are polysaccharides. That means they have long carbon chains. But these carbon chains or these polysaccharides or starch, if you don't have a proper gut, this is going to ruin your life. So what type of things can take? I will tell you very frankly, when I came here for the meeting, I was asking you a fruit juice. Why? Because fruit juice or fruits, if it is not adulterated with cornstarch, because usually we can get cornstarch syrups as fruit juices, which is typically again starch, that is going to ruin it. But unfortunately, if you have proper simple fruits and fruit juices, honey, sugar, I'm not saying about brown sugar, white sugar. Why you want to worry on sugar? Because sugar is the simplest form of glucose which can be converted to energy. It is not the problem with the sugar. It is the problem that your body cannot convert it to energy. That has to be corrected. Correct the root cause than beating around the bush. Like just cutting away the sugar, cutting away. I have seen a lot of people. Today also when I was consulting few people here, they were saying me, Sujith, I am totally avoiding fruits because I have obesity. Obesity is the problem of storing the calorie in the form of fat. That person cannot utilize the calorie. It is not the problem with the person. It's a problem with the diet.
Yeah.
So you have to take fruits, you have to take sugar, you have to take honey. But the thing is, we have to emphasize that. Consult a particular physician and see how is my metabolism. What all measures I should do to correct my metabolism. Correct your metabolism, improve your cognition. Otherwise, you will end up in other stress-related diseases.
See, when you say like metabolism, yeah, it's like people are there with the low metabolism, with the high metabolism. What's the treatment available for that? I mean, for the doing the diet.
Hormones, dear. Smita, you may know that when a person is addressed to be taken under metabolism, you have to look at the primary important thing of thyroid. Unfortunately, people look at the simple measures like T3, T4, TSH and say that yes, my thyroid is normal. See, if you look at the thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, if you are taking unsaturated fatty acids like sunflower oil, canola oil, palm oil, any oils other than coconut oil, butter or ghee, if you are taking any other seed oils, okay, I'm taking out olive oil because it's monounsaturated. But other than that, the seed oils, as canola or a sunflower palm oil, if you're taking these oils, you will be not getting the correct value of TSH. because thyroid stimulating hormone has a property to nullify the report if you have PUFA in your body. PUFA means these type of polyunsaturated fatty acids. But the only thing is that metabolism, if you want to correct your metabolism, you correct your thyroid levels. Thyroid has a lot of positive impacts in our body. Just now, when I am seeing one patient, his cholesterol is around very high. His cholesterol was in a very high limit. I don't want to say the values, but it is in a very upper limit according to so-called doctors. But the thing is that question is why he has elevated cholesterol. Cholesterol is good for us. It should be converted to hormones. From cholesterol only progesterone comes. From cholesterol only pregnenolone comes. From cholesterol only DHEA comes. From cholesterol only testosterone comes. So any hormones, any steroidal productive hormones, especially for males and females, if they want, it comes from cholesterol. Unfortunately, cholesterol is not converted to hormones. That is why cholesterol is increasing. It is not that you are taking cholesterol and your cholesterol is increasing. No, our body is producing 90% of cholesterol. From where? From carbohydrate we are generating cholesterol.
Okay, normally it's
Yes, this is where even if you look at the doctors, they are saying, yeah, you don't take egg yolk because it will produce cholesterol. No, our body, you look at, don't trust Dr. Sujith, trust your Google doctor. Type your Google doctor and ask from, because see, even if the doctors are writing something also, we look at the Google doctor. Look at the Google doctor and say from where the cholesterol is manufactured in our body. In our body, cholesterol is manufactured from carbohydrate. So in 64 steps are taken from carbohydrate to convert to cholesterol. So the cholesterol, if cholesterol is produced, from cholesterol only hormones has to produce. So if the cholesterol has to be converted to hormones, the primary thing is you should have thyroid levels. So T3, it is not only T4. T3 thyroid hormone should be in an optimal level to convert cholesterol to hormones. So if you have high cholesterol, you have to be very careful that your hormones are not going down. It is not that you are going to attack. No, that is secondary, leave it. But the primary thing is the cholesterol has to be converted to hormones. If it is not happening, your life is going to deteriorate. I have seen so many youngsters getting obesity, saying that cholesterol, because you have the problem with the cholesterol, not with the liver or anything else, it's a problem with the thyroid. Address the root cause. Why you are again beating around the bush is my question.
Actually, T3 is being tested. When doctors prescribe to test T3 or?
Usually doctors do the T3, T4, but unfortunately, when a person is in a thyroid patient, they just look at the TSH value.
TSH value, yeah.
TSH gets mimicked when you are taking unsaturated oils. That's what I am saying. But a simple logic technique to see whether you are thyroid or not thyroid, your thyroid is optimal or not. The basic thing is check your body temperature.
Okay.
It is not that you are in AC and checking out. No. When you lie down for sleep without air condition in a normal room temperature, if it is air conditioned, make it to around a normal room temperature, around 28 degree or 27 degree. And then you go for a sleep. Once you wake up, the moment you wake up, check your body temperature.
That shows the metabolic rate.
Yes, it is not the metabolic, it's the body temperature.
Body temperature.
Yeah. You can look at the axillary body temperature.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
It should be 98 degree Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, most of my people, which I have seen, they are having 96, 97, etc. So their metabolic rate is low.
Okay.
If your metabolic rate is low, that is very clear emphasize that your thyroid is also low.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So 98, the waking up time, and then you check at 12 o'clock. It should raise to 98.3, 98.6. That is the optimal patient's or person's optimal working metabolism.
Okay. Yeah.
So anything below that, I had seen one a person who made a shake hand to me, it's sweaty because he has low thyroid. Some people are having very sweat hands. Why? Because his adrenaline is high. Why the adrenaline is high? Because he is having low sugar level. Hypoglycemia always makes the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, people normally say that we are stressed
Yes.
or depression. Normally, even a small child also using the term depression. So, can you say something about that?
See, basically it's a function it's a methodology or it's a function which happens between the brain and the gut. And unfortunately, people are sitting with the psychologists, psychiatrists, they are spending a lot of time and again going for a depressive state itself. So what is this happening? The neurotransmitters which are produced from the brain has to be getting activated by the gut. So if you don't have a good variety of microbiomes, most of the serotonin, most of the dopamine are under waste. So it cannot be getting activated. So the neurotransmitters which are produced from the brain gets activated in the gut. So if you have a good microbiome, a variety of good bacteria, definitely you can get out of it. Otherwise, most of the SSRIs, that means the depression medicines which the doctors give, just create another black hole in your life. That means you cannot come out of the situation. So stress can be corrected by giving good amount of energy to your brain. So if the brain can produce massive amount of ATP energy, then you are out of stress. So a common definition which I usually give for my patients is that if you are under stress, then your brain is under starvation. That is why I always just say previously also, don't put the ketogenic diets and all. So keto diet was given basically for epileptic patients, some epilepsy fits and all. They had it, and it was actually as an experimental purview. It was given for people who are suffering from epilepsy, a ketogenic fatty diet. Why? Because they had to give acetone, acetoacetate, beta hydroxybutyrate in their brain to nullify the epileptic actions. Unfortunately, it was taken as a fashion and done the ketogenic diet, good for brain, etc. But let me tell you, brain wants glucose for energy. Even if you're taking fat, brain depends on glycogenic pathways. That means they burn the fat, they burn the glucose stored in the muscles and use as glucose. So ultimately, why you want to take a long pathway, just give sufficient amount of glucose for your brain and take out the stress from your body. But primarily, you have to correct your gut. Usually stressed people have heartburn, acidity, gastric issues, poor bowel movements, etc. So you have to correct the gut issue before correcting the brain issue for stress. Just an antidepressant pill is not going to work there. That's it.
Okay.
And more than that, there are some of the protein molecules also which are increasing the stress in your body. Okay. Some like amino acids like some alanine, etc., some negative amino acids can increase the stress in your body. So once you're taking the dietary regimen, you have to look at some glycine molecules, etc., some varieties of protein molecules, especially bone broth. These things has positive effects. Especially the skin of some chicken, etc., has very good positive effect. But unfortunately, the industry, especially the meat industry, want more of big animals. So they don't want to know the intellectual activity of the animal. They just want the size of the animal, and they feed these type of things to them. Unfortunately, that things creates another part of brain neural dysfunction, creating stress.
Yeah, that is normally people remove the skin and use it. So you prefer, you suggest like you can...
See, we don't want much amount of protein from animal muscles. We have to get organs, we have to get skin, etc., which is having positive amino acids in the diet of non-vegetarians.
Okay. Now when we see so you meant to say that we have to give more calorie-rich food for even it has a lot of
Wrong.
impact.
It is not related to calorie, because I am totally against calorie. Calorie is actually that how much food you are taking. But my thing is just again one more step ahead of it. It is not only the calorie, it is how much energy you can use from the food you eat. See, Smita, if you are eating 2000 calories of food and from 2000 calorie, you are just storing that food and not utilizing for energy, then why you want to take it? Let it be in this plate. Why you want to put it inside your body and store it and down? We are not actually the garbage. We are actually the energy producers. We have to generate energy. The problem with our human body is that we cannot store energy. We can only store fuel. We can store fuel in the form of fat. We can store the fuel in the form of glycogen. But it doesn't mean that you are storing the fuel, but it doesn't mean that from that fuel you are going to create energy.
Okay.
You got what I am saying? So just simply taking the calorie doesn't mean that from this calorie you are generating energy.
Yeah, and I've seen your details in your profile saying about hormonal therapy and all. So I would like to ask about the main hormonal changes which happens during the menopause, mainly the women are facing, and again about the hormonal problem which we normally face by men. So could you?
Yeah, when you look at the hormones, now when I was consulting, when I was looking one of the patient here, what I could see is that there was a patient with very low T3. Very low T3. It's not D3, it is T3. It's a thyroid hormone, triiodothyronine. Usually for thyroid patients, for hypothyroid patients, they take T4, thyronome, L-troxin, thyroxine. I don't know what brand you get it here, but these are the different bite of names which we see for thyroid patients. They take it in an empty stomach. But the empty stomach hormone which they take is T4. You know T4. So this T4 is an inactive molecule. It doesn't having any action in the body. This T4 has to be converted to T3. This is happening in liver. But if they have fatty liver, if they have dull liver, T4 is not converted to T3. So what we have to give is we have to supply T3, not T4 directly. This is bioidentical hormone therapy. And if you look at women, if they have very low bone density, etc., and if they are highly stressed, if they have perimenopausal signs, it is not actually the estrogen, it is the progesterone which is going to help.
Okay.
That also bioidentical progesterone. Progesterone is not only for females, in very low dose, males also can take progesterone, especially if they have high stress. If they are high stress, if they are obese, because obesity or big belly, gynecomastia, which we see in men, are basically because of low testosterone and high estrogen. So the only antagonistic in the world for high estrogen is progesterone. So supply bioidentical progesterone in cream format, apply it. You don't want to give it as a pill also.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very safe. And
you can apply on the...
Yeah, you can apply on the skin. You know what? Which is the biggest organ? It is skin.
Yeah.
Not any. Skin has massive absorption. So even the cosmetics which you apply, if they have phytoestrogens, it's going inside the body. Yeah, it's going inside the body.
Yeah, I've heard about it, like all the cosmetics which we
yes
it will impact your kidney.
It impacts. It's not impacting the kidney or anything like that. But the thing is, it can have a lot of estrogen dominancy in this one. So estrogen, if it is too much, it creates anxiety. It creates foggy brain. It creates muscle pain. It creates obesity. It creates fatty liver. It creates constipation. You know, so this is what I just say. Progesterone is in a very low dose is very safe for both males and females, especially for cognitive aspects, studying, brain activities, especially if they are having multitasking. You know, teachers, the teacher profession, they are multitasking. They are having a lot of work. The multitasking of the brain, one of the key factors is zinc. Z-I-N-C. Zinc is a very important mineral. Don't take calcium supplements, but take zinc supplements to improve the brain activities and correct it. Because if you have too much of estrogen, you have low zinc. Zinc is very important for digestion, your hair, your nails. Because if you have low zinc, brittle nails, scanty hair, etc. happens.
You mentioned about hair, no? Like hair fall is again a serious issue. Like as this zinc supplementation would help.
Yes, zinc supplements can work with folic acid, but for hair fall, the best treatment is exosomal injections. Exosomal PRP injection is the best form for hair renewal.
Okay. So again, coming back to the menopause and perimenopause issue. So you meant to say like people are actually not very keen about taking any treatment for that, you know. But people are suffering because of, with various mood swings. They are like in a day-to-day life, they are facing a lot of issues. So your suggestion is like if they face that kind, which they are not able to control the emotions or the mood swings, will they actually, do they have to?
It's actually because of the acetylcholine, which is secreted from the anterior part of the brain, produces a chemical called as acetylcholine. So if the acetylcholine is coming to your body, if it is secreted from the brain, and this creates the chaos if you have polyunsaturated fat in the body. So this that's what I always recommend. Even your chairman puts A2G. Why your chairman is emphasizing on A2G? Because A2G is a saturated fat. If you store saturated fat, that means if you take saturated fat, your body stores fatty acids, saturated fatty acids. And when acetylcholine, when there is a stress, when the brain is producing acetylcholine, if the stored form is saturated fat, if it comes to the picture, it suddenly stops the acetylcholine. But if you have acetylcholine when you are stressed, and if the releasing is polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are from seed oils, then this acetylcholine is again recycled. Again it produces. Then the stress will be uncontrollable. So that is why I am saying you should have very good progesterone values in your body than dominance of estrogen, and you should have saturated fat in the body. Saturated fat does not create heart attack or cholesterol clog, etc. There is a stupidity. This is that coconut oil creates cholesterol. No, nothing like that. It is actually, these things are very important for the brain, and ghee and butter is the best form.
Okay. So, and again about the men, like midlife after 40, they face a lot of issues due to the testosterone decline or something. So again, the same suggestion you actually have.
Especially the problem is that there is something testosterone. We have to look at whether it is active testosterone or total testosterone. There is no in that cases we have to look at the active testosterone. That means how much is actually the free testosterone there, not the binding testosterone. So you have to look at the total testosterone, free testosterone, what is the problem, why this is actually attached, SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin, why it is attached with this protein, why testosterone is attached. It is like we have a lot of bank balance in our bank, but we cannot take the money. So the bank is not giving the money to you. Like that, men have a lot of testosterone, but it is not released. If it is not released or if it is not free, it is just attached. It is not having any use. This is what we see in a lot of people. So we have to have the correction of saturated and unsaturated ratio, and more beyond that, you have to look at the testosterone. If it is low, you have to look at the bio-identical testosterone, not the synthetic ones. We have to generate bio-identical testosterone and just apply over the scrotal area. Within 3 weeks, you feel the difference in libido, your enhancement, your activities, your muscle power, your abdominal belly, etc. These factors gets corrected very easily.
Okay, it's true. Diet suggestion do you have?
No, it is actually, we cannot just by there are a lot of myths happening, like if you take some these foods in testosterone. No, ultimately you have to correct the gut issue, and you have to correct the, but if the testosterone is too low, you have to apply bio-identical testosterone. It's a cream form. We have to apply over the scrotal area. In the testis area, you have to apply. So it gets fastly absorbed, and it gets, so you can do it. The only thing is the bioidentical thing is that it is quite natural. It doesn't have any synthetic forms. It doesn't have any side effects, Only just you have to analyze it and look at a physician, check with the physician and do what the correct dose. But the positive effect is that your immune system increases, your vitality increases, your libido increases, your activity gets increased, your cognition improves. It is not synthetic, And the positivity is that even after you withdraw these hormones, the reflex phenomena or the feedback phenomena of the brain gives an emphasis that yes, there should be testosterone. And naturally the body starts to regenerate testosterone or reproduce the testosterone if you have sufficiently corrected the biochemistry.
So normally, before, it has to be tested.
Yes. So what is actually is that if you have a testosterone issue, if you have a sexual issue, or if you have a low libido, or if you have a very high obesity, if you have a lethargy, fatigueness, we test the testosterone. We test the total testosterone, we test the free testosterone. Then we slowly start to introduce a diet regimen for them. So once the diet regimen is fixed, we say these things has to be corrected, we put some nutrients like zinc, probiotics, etc. Then what we do is that we give testosterone bio-identical, not the synthetic one, bioidentical testosterone for them to apply for 30 days, 40 days. After that, we withdraw the hormone, and then the body starts to naturally produce the hormone with the diet and nutrients.
Okay.
Like
So,
that.
which physician actually they have to consult with?
Usually, if they have any functional medicine specialist like us, then you can contact them, no problem. Yeah.
Functional medicine.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, again, anti-aging, like I've seen your in your profile. Like, what is the technology? I mean,
See, basically, the concept is that usually people think that aging is natural. No, aging is a disease. Aging is a disease between energy production, free radical exposure. So if your energy, your antioxidant free radical body is balanced in a cell, I am not saying of the complete body, at least in a cell, if you take a single cell and in that the free radical and antioxidants are balanced, that is where the aging can be controlled. So aging is a process of, it's a cycle. So it's like a cycle is spinning. You know, for example, if the cycle is spinning for around 60 times in a minute, you can reduce to 30 times and you can increase the longevity. That's a basic concept.
So thank you so much. Again, we have got a lot of information about especially ketogenic diet and all. People are mostly behind that. So we have got a very good awareness about that, like what's the impact of...
Smita, the ultimate thing is that we have to generate energy, my dear. Because Dubai is such a pace moving forward in the life, in the world. If they don't generate energy, the only problem is that they will generate something in the future, but they will have a lot of diseases.
Yeah.
So people will suffer. So we don't want to suffer and win. Ultimately, success happens when you are healthy and you enjoy with your family and with your beloved ones. If not, what is the meaning of success? You know, so after getting success, if they end up in cancers and diabetes, there is no meaning in it. These metabolic disorders can be early identified, corrected, and generate energy. Ultimately, your body wants energy. So how easily you can take the food to generate energy. If there is a blockage in that energy, correct your metabolism. That is the ultimate thing. So this we can show Dubai in the world what is the best in our life, in our health. Just by putting some nutrients IV is not going to solve. Yes, I definitely we recommend vitamin C infusions, etc. But it should be in a scientific way. Understand the metabolism, what is happening, correct the metabolism and generate energy. If you don't want to store the energy like big bellies and big fatty livers and all. No, you have to generate energy from the calorie which you take.
Functional medicine, normally it is not everywhere. I mean, all the hospitals.
We have a lot of associations, especially American College of Nutrition, American College of Anti-Aging Society is promoting it. Australian College of Nutritional Medicine is promoting it. Now you look at the Dubai. Biohack Summit is a worldwide program where a lot of doctors are coming and activating. So in your field, if the doctors are interested, they can come and attend and see what is the big picture of functional medicine in the world. Even we from India come here and do this summit, attend this summit, just because that from people from Australia, America, it's there. The people are interested. Even common man can come and see what is happening in the latest of the science.
Thank you, sir. We will wind up today's interview. Like we are actually lucky to have you here. We got a lot of information about a lot of health practices which we have to follow. And yeah, thank you.
So I'm thankful to 360 Radio and Smita for having a wonderful experience here. Thank you.